When you're mid-argument and then all of a sudden one of you just shuts down, just goes silent. And the silence is so loud. It's called stonewalling. As a couples therapist, I see this happen all of the time. And it is hurtful on both sides of the fence. The Gottman Institute says stonewalling is one of the 4 horsemen. And the 4 horsemen are the 4 things that lead to divorce. Now, you don't want to have to go through a divorce when this is truly a safety strategy. Stonewalling is so misunderstood because as the recipient, it feels terrible to be sitting there with somebody who just shuts down immediately. It's younger behavior that kept that person safe when they were younger and didn't have the skills or the tools of the mature adult that they are today. I'm Andrea Dindinger, and I've spent over 20 years working with couples who get into these looping fights over and over again. And I have found ways to help them break out of these cycles. So back to stonewalling. Stonewalling is different than contempt, also one of the Gottman's 4 horsemen, because stonewalling is this feeling of I'm overwhelmed, where contempt is this feeling of I hate you. And you can feel the difference when somebody is just like, I'm overwhelmed, or someone is like, I'm not talking to you. So what do you do when this happens in the moment and you are lost and scared and stuck and sad? All of these really big, heavy emotions are coming up. You have to pause this conversation. You have to pause it and you have to name it. So if you recognize you and your spouse have this dynamic in your marriage, before one of those moments happens, come up with a special word that means I love you, I care about you, you are important to me, our relationship matters, I just sometimes get scared. So one word that encompasses all 5 of those things, but just remember it always means I love you. Maybe you use the word stony, so it makes you stay awake in a different way. So you agree to this word before you get into this argument. And you know that these arguments happen on loop. Everybody has one in their marriage. So before that happens, you come up with the word stony. So then the next time you are in this dynamic, here's what you do. The person who's either in the stonewall or the person who's being stonewalled calls out Stony. Hey, Stony, let's talk about this later. I want to talk about it tonight after we put the kids to bed. Or can we talk about it tomorrow morning after we drop the kids off? You come up with a really specific time that you are going to talk about this. And that's actually the biggest key, the pausing it and then the naming of the time when you're going to come back to the conversation. The whole thing rests on coming back to the conversation, coming back and having the conversation about what happened to you internally so that you can share that. So when you are on that pause, when you have taken this break, I want you to, again, go inside and investigate. What was I thinking? What were the assumptions I was making? What were the stories I was telling myself? What didn't feel like was getting heard? What do I really care about in this moment? Is this something that really deeply matters? Now, the other thing you're going to likely find is in marriages, there's oftentimes a pursuer and distancer dynamic. So the person who is being stonewalled is generally the pursuer. They're chasing after the person who is shut down. And the person who's shut down is the withdrawer, and they're running away. And you guys keep doing this dance again and again. But when you call Stony, you're stopping that dance. Nobody is chasing. Nobody is running. Both people have stopped and found some sense of safe. Coming back is the repair. That is the thing that expresses love more than anything. Then you say, hey, yesterday was hard for me. Or, I really love you. Thanks for coming back. We both got upset yesterday. Just naming that little piece helps everybody relax. It means I'm just not mad at you anymore, and I've had some time to think. Chris and I used to have this dynamic in our relationship. And of course, I was the pursuer and he was the distancer. But what's been really cool to witness and watch is that the more we practice these tools, the more emotional maturity we both grow and experience, which then leads us to be able to tolerate more difficult conversations, more discomfort, and stay regulated when things get scary, when things get moving quickly, not jumping forward to making assumptions. So with practice, these things absolutely begin to shift. Now, if you find yourself in these looping fights, the pursuer-distancer dynamic, again and again, I've got this extraordinary tool called the Loop Breaker. It's $17 and it's 20 minutes. And it's 5 scripts, word-for-word exercises that you can do that help you shift out of this dynamic with your partner. And the best part is only one of you has to do it. Because if somebody takes that leadership role and shifts the dynamic, everything changes. Here's what I really want you to take from this. The silence is a safety strategy. Really keep that in mind. It's not personal. It's not intended to be mean to the other person. It's the person trying to keep themselves safe. And you only make the dynamic worse when you criticize that person for trying to stay safe. Every week I send out a free newsletter. It's called Love Forward. The link is down below if you are interested in ideas, thoughts, practices, tools that help you shift the automatic and habitual dynamics in your relationship into something more awake, more alive, and more loving. The link is down below. You can sign up. If you like this, if you know somebody who needs to see this, go ahead and send it, and please subscribe. I appreciate you. Take good care.